Hello, welcome to Make It Make Sense with Auntie. Of course, I am Auntie. I am super excited for tonight's show. We are at the last show of October. This month flew by. This year is flying by. So we are down to what the last 2 months of the year. 2025 has been a blast. We are super excited. Tonight, like I said, we do have an exciting show. Um, I think I think it's gonna be exciting. I said that. I think it's gonna be exciting. I think it's and when I say exciting, I'm not really saying it so much as in a joyous excitement, but I feel as if it's gonna be a very interactive show with a lot of people that's gonna be involved. The topics that we have tonight are very they're current events, for real, for real. There's some stuff that y'all know that Auntie had went through and we looked at it. We wanted to make it make sense. So I did find three topics tonight that we're gonna discuss that we're gonna make them make sense tonight. Alrighty, y'all. So we listen, y'all know we got it. We can't forget our sponsors. All right, first we want to listen. I'm telling you right now, the seasons are changing, and trust me, I know it. My body is telling me that the seasons are changing. So if you are dealing with HS, if you are dealing with any of the eczema, dealing with anything dealing with your skin, you want to reach out to the HS soap company. I'm telling you, this is something that could be life changing for you. You will find some comfort. I'm pretty sure you'll find one of the products that you will enjoy. Tell Pedro that Auntie sent you, and as you see, he does have a super mystery box. I enjoyed the mystery box because there's different scents and there's some little trinkets in there for you. So you want to reach out and let him tell him Auntie sent you. And don't forget my girl Rena Simone. Listen, if you are looking for wellness care inside or out, this is the chick you need to be talking to. Reach out to Miss Rena Simone over at Rena Simone's Well Care. I'm telling you, listen, she has teas. The girl has everything. She has, if you deal with the crystals, she got you on the crystals. If it's just a spiritual, I'm telling you, this is somebody that you would like to reach out to and talk to. I enjoy every time me and this sister talk to each other. If you watching Miss Simone, how you doing, baby? Listen, tell her Auntie sent you as well. And we cannot forget the man of the hour always. Show out over at Smooth Transition. If you are looking for a consultation, if you are have anything going on, an event, if you just want something that's a little bit custom, something different, reach out to Mr. Show out over at Smooth Transition. He has a lot going on. I'm telling you, you want to get in before there's not a slot for you. Business has been revamped, so trust me, and it's very, very, what is it? It's we got some new stuff out there. There's some new things out there. Some new things you're going to be able to purchase as a customer. You're going to be able to invest in. So trust me, you do want to reach out over to Smooth Transitions Design LLC and tell Mr. Show out that Auntie sent you as well, because you know he do all our designs for Auntie. And oh, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, that incense was taking my throat. I apologize. But listen, y'all, when life give you limits, make it make sense with Auntie. I am your mentor and your host. I promise you, we're going to try to make it make sense the best we can. If it makes sense to you, it can make sense to me. We're going to make it make sense. If you need somebody to talk to, you can go ahead and reach out to me at the admin at Make It Make Sense with Auntie.com or 656-216-1373 Auntie. I will get your text messages if you reach out again, or if you can't reach that one, lemons make it make sense at gmail.com. Any of those ways, reach out to me, DM me. Now, this is the exciting part. I'm so excited for our Make It Make Sense with Auntie, along with BFAM presents to you the Fruitiverse Youth Day. This will be January 3rd. We will be in Atlanta. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to be a vendor, if you would like to just come out and be a part of this event, if you would like to be a volunteer, please reach out. I will have all the information available on November the 1st for all of the deadlines. So if you would like to be a part of this event, if you in Georgia, please, please, please reach out. I will be down there next month to meet with some people, to network. This is something that I feel everybody should be a part of. We're gonna have fun, y'all. We're gonna turn up. We had a good time last year, and this time I pray that it's much bigger and better, because we did have a wondrous time up in Atlanta, Georgia. We was over at the spaces at the Brave Stadium. I'm telling y'all, listen, That was my first time ever going to the braid station. Yes, I have been to Atlanta. I done been there a few times. My sister, I had actually moved my sister up there to Atlanta. But to go and to experience the Atlanta Braves Stadium, even if you don't get to do too much of anything else, but there's a ton of stuff to do around us. So we're gonna try to go down there early this year. Um, so we can get some other stuff planned. I'm planning the trip now, so I'm not sure to see exactly how many days I'll be down there. But when we can figure out a more precise calendar of events, I will be releasing that. Again, I will be down there because we will be there definitely January the 3rd. So make sure that you will get your tickets. The tickets will go on Eventbrite on November the 1st. They will be available November 1st. So if you want to be a part of that, if you would like to purchase a t-shirt, if you would like to be a vendor, or if you want to purchase a t-shirt to sponsor a youth, we also will be doing that as well. So all of that information will be available to you all November the 1st and going forward, so we can make this event be great. We're going to make it make sense. Like I said, I had a ball. And I know it was a short notice event that we did last year. It was very, very short notice. But we had a great time. The people that did come out had a great time from what they told me. So I hope that we can reach out and reach more, because right now, especially in these times, we need more of an outreach for our youth to let them know that they are still included, that there are people out here that care about them. They care about their mindset, they focus. And on top of that, we need more adults to want to give back to the youth to help them build, because while we're trying to rebuild these some things don't need to be rebuilt. You know what I'm saying? Some things need to be built from scratch. And if we gonna make it make sense, we just got to make it make sense. A lot of us are older, and we run in this race, and these are the ones that have to live in this when we are going on, and we see we are leaving here in masses. So we have to pay attention to our youth, and you know what I'm saying, put more into them, give them an outlet that's outside of something else, instead of just judging them for the decisions they made when we're not looking at why they made these decisions. And that's what Auntie want to be a part of. I want to help them make better decisions. I want to make them, be productive out there. And that's what I want. I want the youth to make it make sense. I want them to see that when life actually gives them limits, that they are able to do other things besides just make lemonade. They are able to actually make that make sense. Now, speaking of making make sense, this topic, my first story, I'm gonna go into that one first, because I know the second story is very, very big right now. That's something else that's going into effect on November the 1st. But I was going through, y'all know, I was looking for my make it make sense topic for for tonight, and I was going through I'm not sure what I was watching, but I came across Mr. Mr. Charlie Kirk, and it was in regards to Mr. Charlie Kirk's killer. So I am going to have DC play a video, and then we're going to discuss this video. Some of the things that I learned from this video, I couldn't understand, and I want to know if this is going to apply to everybody, or is this just something that's special for him. So DC, you can go ahead and play that video.
A judge ruling that the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be allowed to wear civilian clothes in court moving forward. Tyler Robinson appearing virtually, but he wasn't on camera. This happened, of course, today in Utah. His attorneys argued that inmate clothing would sway the jury's presumption of innocence. The judge also ruled that he will still have to wear restraints inside the courtroom. Robinson has not yet entered a plea on charges. ABC's Melissa Adon is following the latest from here in Los Angeles. So, Melissa, how did the judge describe this decision, and what's the next step in this case?
Right, Kana. So on these decisions, the judge first granting Robinson the permission to wear civilian clothes to all upcoming trial hearings, as the judge says, is presumed innocent at this time. And because of that, he says that Robinson wearing jail clothing could make any defendant appear guilty. But as for the restraints, the judge denying Robinson and his team's wishes for him to appear without restraints. Now, Robinson will remain in shackles, but the judge noting that if they had seemed to restrict Robinson's ability to talk to his attorneys or write notes, that Robinson can request again to take off some shackles. Now, the judge making this decision decision for the safety of the courtroom.
All right. So listen, I'm very impartial to a lot of things. And when I was watching it and I was listening to some of the things that they were saying, it just didn't make sense to me. And maybe some of my listeners can help me make this make sense. But aren't everybody that is supposed to be arrested supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty? So would that not mean that every person that has went in a courtroom before a judge should have been allowed to wear their own civilian clothing so that nobody was swayed? I'm not understanding why we're doing I don't understand. And let's see, Walter, uh, what the for absolutely is some white privilege stuff. Exactly, because I'm trying to figure out if everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty, how do you go in and say that one person can go to court so that the jury is not swayed in civilian clothes and that not be true to all inmates? And how can that be a justified decision in a courtroom? Or maybe it's just the lawyer real smart and he played the card that nobody has ever played. I don't know. But it just didn't make sense to me that and on top of it not making sense to me, I guess it really don't have to make sense to me. But my thing is, do they not think that a lot of inmates are now going to try and use this as a defense? And if they do choose to use this defense, do you feel that it should be granted? Since it has been granted to this man that has been accused of killing somebody, these people that go to jail or that are locked up are accused of crimes they say they did not commit or have not actually been convicted of. So should they also be allowed to walk around in their civilian clothes? And my other baffling video moment was the fact that they said the civilian clothing would not sway them. Do they not think that shackles are going to sway them? The fact that everybody in the courthouse is able to get up and move freely through the courtroom and he has to be chained and escorted does not continue to sway or let them know that he is under arrest for I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe it is the fact that he has a really good lawyer that went in and played that card, because I just want to know how that's going to play out within future court cases or even past court cases that have went in. Or maybe they just gonna say that, oh, your lawyer never tried that. I don't know, but I just wanted to know if anybody else could make that make sense, because I do feel like there's some privilege being put in. Somewhere somebody pulling some strings, because that one just don't make sense to me. I mean, it just doesn't. That one don't make sense to me. Now we're gonna move right along. I'm pretty sure if you still have some views, if you have views, just go ahead and put in Charlie Kirk Killer, or you can put in, I guess, what, CKK down and put your comments so I know that what you're relating to, and I will respond back to those comments. But we are going to go into my very next topic. This is a continuation from last week. If you tuned in last week, if you knew this week, we are discussing in part the government shutdown and the whole SNAP benefit termination. So it was reported that they said that the USDA had reported that if the government had not come to a decision by October the 27th, that November 1st USDA benefits would be cut down. If you watched the video last week, we did discuss some of the responses that have been made in regards to the benefits being canceled. And I have my opinion, and I mean what I said. I said what I said. I'm pretty sure there are people that do not agree with me. However, there are a lot of people that do agree with me. However, there are people that have their own opinion, which is what it is about. I have my opinion. You are free to have yours. Now, before I show this video, I will say that this is my response that I gave to because I've been having this conversation with a few different people, pretty much everywhere I go. So I've been asking, you know what I'm saying? I posted the question. I asked if this is going to affect you or somebody that you know. How is this going to affect you? What are your plans? What's going on? And it was in response to the videos that have been circulating social media of the responses of they are going to loot, they're going to go and they're going to start do a lot of the stealing and a lot of the crimes that the things that they're going to do. So I posted those videos, those responses, and then there are also some other people that responded telling them, pretty much you need to make it make sense. Now, I am going to give my response to the whole benefits shutdown. I did go discuss it last week, but we are going to go a little bit more in depth because last week we really was just talking about the responses. But now I am going to actually tell you how I actually felt about it, because I did again have this conversation with a few different people that I asked them how they felt about it. And once we went into the conversation, and then they asked me my opinion, and I said these words to these people. So I'm gonna start off by saying, by all means, this is not a good thing with this government shutdown. And if you a follower of Aunti, I'll tell you very quickly, accountability is my favorite word, and that's one of my favorite words. So with what is going on right now in the government, I want everybody that has been posting these responses about what they are going to do. I want to let you all know you are the first ones that I need you to take accountability, because your responses have completely shown exactly why a lot of these benefits are ending. I'm gonna say this: I have, and I'm not by no means above anybody. I have received assistance, and like I told y'all last week, baby, if I could get them, I would. Unfortunately they said absolutely not. But I will say this: when you go onto these programs, people have a tendency on getting on these programs and forgetting that they are for assistance. They are not a permanent thing. And so that's where we get into the whole back and forth of, we go from one assistance program to the other, and that's how it's set up to get you attached to these programs. I spoke and told y'all I lived in housing here, and I remember sitting on my porch. I remember the moment when it dawned on me that literally I had become a part of the system. Like, it was becoming an institutionalization, living in that environment. It became not that I wasn't going to work and doing things, but it was just like you seen how easy it was to become a pattern. It was easy. It was real easy. And I thank God that I was never one of the ones that, became complacent, that I love to learn. But I remember back then, and this is in the 90s. Yeah, this is in the 90s. The end of the 90s, beginning 2000s. I remember the housing programs offered programs. They had things that you had to do in order to receive the assistance. Like, you couldn't just be living in, what I'm saying, in the hood. They call it, you couldn't just stay in the hood and not be going to school or not be going to work or not be volunteering or doing something. So you just couldn't just be around. You had to actually be doing something. And I remember, that's when I got a lot of my, I went and got a lot of my certifications, me and my sister, because I would tell her, listen, they got this program going on, you want to go? And we would go get those certifications because that's what they was offering. Also, because that was what was required in order for us to stay there. Now, let's have this conversation. If you run around here and you have made these videos about you don't know what you gonna do to take care of your children, I am going to tell you this personally. If your child is not disabled and you do not have a newborn that is not in daycare, because if you was receiving food stamps, you had access to daycare. So if you was one of those parents that sat at home and chose not to get up and go to work, if you sat at home and chose to just play with the system, eating out all the time, buying crazy when you go to the store, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, y'all finna get real mad at me, and I don't care who do, because yes, listen, y'all, a lot of y'all is mad because the cutting off of the food stamps for y'all. Let's see, CEO said so they haven't touched child support, taxes, etc. No, they ain't touched that yet. Why would they touch that? That's to take care of your responsibility. This is a program that is taking away from the responsibilities of the parent. And that's what I was going, but that does lead me into what I'm saying. When y'all get on, when we let me stop saying y'all, when we get on these programs, we have to remember to read that fine print. You have to remember to read that. I mean, and yes, they don't put in fine print, so I'm gonna say read between the lines, not just read the fine print. When I say read between the lines, when we go and be a part of these programs, they to ask you all these, personal questions. They tell you that you have to pay back a certain amount of money. They tell you have to do all these things. You have to get them access to bank accounts. You have to give these people all this access to all of this information for whatever amount that it is that they want. For your assistance, just to make sure. Then you have the ones that go in and take advantage of that same program. Take advantage of it. A lot of y'all that's making up videos, y'all know well, it ain't about them kids and them food stamps. It's because a lot of y'all was selling food stamps. That's your source of income. So therefore, not, and you are a part of the problem. And that's where the accountability lies. Everybody is screaming and hollering about them cutting the food stamps off, but there is not one person that I have seen that made a response or a post that said anything about the fact of when we was just going through this where they were stealing people's food stamps. People waking up and going to a grocery store, filling up their cart, getting to a register, and somebody has taken those benefits from this person. Where was all of this outcry that when people was taken from those that actually needed these food stamps? Nobody was screaming and crying for that. But now that these people are telling y'all, you know what, we're gonna cut it off for everybody. We're gonna pretend like now they just cutting it off and like there's no reasoning behind him cutting it off. I don't agree with them cutting the program off for everybody as a whole. However, I do believe that there are a lot of adjustments and changes that need to be made within the system, and that go across the board for all programs, because there are a lot of programs that people cannot get access to that need it. That truly need these programs, people that need these programs. And it was a time that I would be a part of that. I'm not finna cap and say I wasn't. I was. It was until I learned better. And they tell you when you learn better, you do better. It was until I grew up and seen the effect that it have on other people, or it had the long run, the outcome in the long run. Because it was fun and games when people was out here, when you be selling them and you're going to spend the money to do this here and the other, and you're going to the club every night. Now that ain't now. But when you're going to the club every night, or you're going to get your hair done, your nails done, you got all the latest outfits, everybody know you in the clubs because you always in the club. You know what I'm saying? When you receiving the kids' checks and all this crazy stuff, those are the people that are literally on social media that are acting out. Those are the people. I have seen a couple of videos of people that truly are in a situation where they cannot get up to do anything to feed their children or feed themselves. Those are the people that should be on social media with all this outcry. All these ones that got energy talking about they finna go loot, baby. You need to put that energy into applications, applying for jobs, going outside, doing something productive. If you got the energy to go in and go and do this to somebody or go get mad, I'm talking about y'all real deal mad. Y'all are on social media mad. Like these people ain't tracking these posts. Like they're not like they real deal not tracking these posts. Y'all watch and see every day all this stuff on social media, with as much stuff as you post on social media, you real deal sitting up here posting what y'all finna go do and don't think these people finna take heed. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go into my next video. DC, go ahead and play the food stamp video.
4 days away with food stamps coming to an end, and these egotistical maniacs in Washington can't figure out how to bypass the government shutdown, which means desperate times are going to equal desperate measures. And as I'm scrolling through TikTok and watching what people are saying, there's a trend going on that people are going to do whatever they have to do to feed their families, which would include stealing from your grocery cart the second you leave the store. This is not a joke. This is extremely serious. To the husbands out there that are working 9 to 5 and you're gone all day, and you have your woman at home, or she's a housewife or taking care of the family, and part of her job is going out there and going grocery shopping, you must have a conversation with her now that she must stay smart, she must stay vigilant, she must be aware of her surroundings.
Let's stop. All right. So listen, and that's where we're leading to. Let's see. CEO Shaw said it's a lot of them that don't care. Somehow 3 or more kids, and the video is fast. And that's absolutely true. Now, see, we with this now, and going into this video, this is the thing with this, with the posting, with these challenges. See, this is where it get real, and Auntie finna, you know what I'm saying? So if you ain't tuning in, you better tell somebody to tune in, because we finna make it make sense for y'all that's not thinking clearly, emotionally intelligent, whatever you want to call it. Listen, y'all better come close, listen in, for real, because I'm finna tell y'all something, I'm finna make it make sense. So now, you can say what you want to, and you can sit up here and say I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever you want to say. You can sit up here and say, oh, I'm overthinking things, but I'm going to tell you something. I want y'all to make this make sense. I'm a part of a state that literally just opened up the open to carry law. And the biggest question I heard a whole lot of people asking way before this huge mess came up about the SNAP benefits being ended was people asking, can I carry them in grocery stores and in Walmart? Now, I don't believe in coincidences. So now, the very next month, we are telling me that we are ending food stamp benefits on November the 1st. And then my timeline is flooded with videos of people telling me that they are going into stores and they are going to steal. They are going to they are going to do whatever it takes to feed their families. And I understand that. I get that. By any means necessary to provide and take care of your family. Now, but you have to make the decision about what those means is. And depending on where you're at in your life, those means are going to be different things and in different places. So by any means necessary for one person is not going to be the same any means necessary, because they both have different means. And I hope that didn't go over too many people's head. But I'm going to say this. If you tell me that they have open to carry, and people are making videos about this challenge, now this gentleman has just told us that there are more challenges where these people are planning to walk up, run up, whatever, and snatch groceries out of customers' buggies that they have already paid for. Do you know how this is about to play out? Because this man just told you the same way they talking about they want to feed their kids, people are set to protect their families and what they work for. So I need y'all to make this make sense. Like I seen a post that said, "Welcome to the Wild Wild West," and pretty much basically, for real, for real. If y'all ain't making this make sense, if it's finna get crazy because I already know how it's gonna be if somebody walk up to snatch something out my buggy that I just paid for. I've been in a situation where somebody snatched something from me that I paid for, and they were trying to tell me that I didn't pay for it. So I was in that situation before, and I know how that played out at that particular time. So I know how it's going to play out with me coming out of a grocery store, spending my hard-earned money on grocery, and somebody running up to my buggy, taking it. Now, that also leads to the ones that's running around here with these weapons that they have now allowed them to carry, that's going to feel as if they can run up on people and pull up weapons. This man, listen, this is a setup. This is a whole setup. Because I also know, and I know this, that there are now in these stores, all of these major stores that y'all think y'all finna run up in, these people have hired private security and police officers that walk around undercover solely for you. Solely for you. So if y'all think y'all finna go up in these people's stores, if y'all think y'all finna go in here with this mess, listen, it's finna get real. It ain't nobody's coincidence that they done changed all these laws all of a sudden, and all of these, look, this stuff is going on. But I'm telling you, the only ones that are responding like this are the ones that truly have not done anything productive for this system, and the system is seriously telling y'all. So I don't disagree with them taking away system from certain people. Now I also remember there was a time that they would allow you to make a payee for your child if you were unable to get assistance, because like I told you, I used to get assistance. I remember that when I couldn't get assistance because I think they had gave me a sanction for something I hadn't did, they gave it to the children. I believe that that's something that could be done to and put somebody that is responsible over the benefits, that is responsible over the benefits. I don't feel as if they should be going in telling parents what they can and cannot purchase. However, I do believe that there should be limitations put the same way they tell you, oh, they're going to separate cash benefits from food stamps. I believe that they should put in a program that allows them to a certain allowance. They're allowed to spend so much per month on junk food. They're allowed to spend so much a month on hot food. They're allowed to do that because if you truthfully, if that system is supposed to make to provide assistance to a person to make them, you know what I'm saying, living, what is it, not minimum wage, but to be living, you know, with outside of the poverty level, you don't limit those people. And I know people gonna say, well, if you going through that, then you ain't got no business doing this, that, and other. That's BS. Because why, just because of a person's situation, do they not should they not be allowed to, you know what I'm saying, enjoy the finer things in life? Why should a child, just because they're receiving assistance, not be able to go out and eat candy and snacks? Should they be allowed to overeat it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yes, I do believe that if you're going to be a part of the program, then you have to be prepared to follow what those people tell you that you need to do. And that's with anything that you do. You have to be able to go in and say, okay, I'm signing up for this. This is what it is, and this is what I'm going to do. I told y'all, I started telling y'all the story last week when I was on assistance. And I remember when me and my ex got together, and when we was going to get a house, I remember the people telling me, you know what I'm saying, they was asking for all my information. And I'm one of them people that I'm just tell you the truth. Because I ain't got time for you to be coming back, finding out no information. Now I got to try to cover that up. Then I'm be looking for somewhere to stay if you don't know. So yeah. Now again, in my past, yes, I did that. I sure did. I did not mind. Now I mind. I'm grown. I got stuff to live for. I got grandchildren. I got stuff. I got things to lose. You know what I'm saying? Right. So right, right. But now I wouldn't. There are decisions that I just I can't make. Hold on 1 second. My phone. Hold on. I think I need. Hold on. I think I need a tablet. Um. I lost my train. Oh, with the system. So there was certain things that I just did not feel comfortable reporting after a while. And then especially when it came to the point, the amount that they were willing to give me but the amount of information that they required. And it was just like, I'm not finna keep doing that with nobody. I'm not finna be reporting my information to nobody that I'm going to work every day and I'm working. I wasn't just sitting at home. You know what I'm saying? I was working. I always was working. Even when I stayed in housing, I was working, paying almost $300 a month to stay in housing. Um, yeah. So right, but if you're listening, and I'm telling y'all, if you listening to me, I want y'all to listen, hear me loud and clear. If you are one of these ones that's sitting out here thinking about what y'all finna go do, you need to think about the role that you playing in this. Have you got up and went and tried to seek a job while you sitting up there screaming that you ain't got no way to feed your kids? If you truly out there struggling, then by all means, I apologize, and I truly hope that you find another program that they offering, because I see like a lot of these other programs are trying to for kick in and fill the voids. But that's going to be real overwhelming with all of the amount of food stamps and people that's losing these benefits. Again, it's gonna show, and right now, truthfully, it shows those that are, what I'm saying, if you was receiving this assistance, um, and right now you finna lose this assistance and you have no means of getting assistance, it's time to go get a job if you are able to. If you able to go get a job, this the time. You can't be above that, baby. You need to get up and go find a job. And y'all, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I won't work in fast food." You better. You sure better, because baby, fast food pay my bills. That's why I got it. I do other things outside of this, but yes, that's why fast food pay my bills. And to let you know, if you actually go do some of these jobs that you don't want to be doing because you don't want to, what it say, some people are so unaware of the resources that is about to pop up on a first come first serve basis. Exactly. It's going to be so. This is going to have a trickle domino effect. Y'all are focusing on just these EBT benefits where you should be focusing on going, because if you also notice that at the beginning of the month, he rose minimum wage to $14. And some people saying that's not enough. It's more than what some of y'all have. It's more than what some of y'all got. It'll feed your kids. I'm telling you, better make it make sense. And I know a few parents that do it. They do it. Yeah, I got a few employees that work for me. They do it. And some of them are going to be affected by this whole system because I talked to them. We had conversations about it. And you know what I'm saying? And it's finna get hard. That's why it's important that they have a backup. You know what I'm saying? I talk to my employees. I talk to my employees all the time, not just about working at Burger King, but about furthering their education, about furthering their mindset, furthering their goals. If you want to be at working at, working for a fast food company, by all means do that. If you want to do management, do that, because that's what I do. Go in there and go do manager. If you feel you want to run something, go run something. If you want to get your money and pay your bills, go and get you some. If you want to start a business, which is gonna be perfect for the event January. If you got kids, bring them out. We're gonna talk to them about that, about setting goals and reaching out to go ahead and get those. Why it's important to do that. Keep on. I don't care what nobody ever say about me. Yep, as I done struggled, I sure have, but I got it done. I guarantee you that. If I set my mind to it, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. It might take me a little minute to get it done sometimes, but I'm going to get it done. I'm gonna get that done. and we need to put our mindset on that right now. I've been listening the whole entire time. I've been listening to him speak, and I personally feel as if he's pushing more people to become business owners and to go out here and do it that way, which is my take on it. Some people say I'm crazy. I'm looking at it the wrong way. I truly feel that that is what it is. If you want to play his game, then you got to become a business owner. Um, and right now, it's really not hard to actually get out there and start a business by starting to do something that you want to do, by finding something that you like to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning stuff that I don't know how to do, but I'm not trying to learn it. And that's what, because I'm dealing with some health issues. And yes, I work, but I'm losing, I've been losing like feelings and stuff in my hands. But I'm trying to learn how to do some other stuff and to make some other, income, some other sources of income. I even started back trying to do jewelry, which I actually did. It's going to be available on the website. I've written a couple of books in the last couple of months, which are going to be available on the website. So you have to find another source, baby. Y'all need to come on now. Y'all need to think better. Y'all need to do better. But truly think about what is going on. I know in Florida it's gonna be, I done heard some responses, and like I said, the boat from both sides. People saying they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to take care of their children. And people saying they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to defend uh was theirs. And truthfully, is nobody is wrong. I'm gonna even get that out. But nobody is wrong, because to protect your family and to feed your family are very important things. But I just want y'all to make it make sense when y'all go in these stores talking about, because they took this program away from you, you have no way of taking care of your child. That means that you are too dependent on that program. And again, unless you have a medical reasoning, or is something wrong with you, or you old, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's something, you got something going on, because everybody case different. But if you are an able body, like they tell you, if you don't have no small little kids at home, or special needs, or you know what I'm saying, you ain't taking care, you need to be up being productive, doing something, so that when they say that, you could say, not that I don't have any way of taking care of my children, but it's gonna be harder this month because they cutting some of my benefits. You know what I'm saying? They cutting some of my income. Not to be saying, oh, they cutting all my income, they taking everything they got from me. And I'm gonna tell you, so the bearer of bad news, a little piece, because we'll go ahead and dip into this later, because I'm gonna talk to I'm gonna reach out to some of my club owners and see how y'all feeling about this. And it's sad to say that, but the effect that this is going to have trickles down to, again, the ones that have been partaking in the illegal activities or the abuse of the system and the programs, the ones that they spoke of, the ones that went in and took them. I seen one young man that said he made like $2 million off of scamming food stamps. Let's see. Walter says Trump was right about Americans being lazy and fat, but you can't force free people to find and work. It's true. It's true, and it's crazy that you'll have people that'll sit around and they'll do that. They'll sit around and in other places, like I told y'all, in some countries they look at Americans as lazy, ignorant people, because we have so much. We have so much access. We have so much. We have, what I'm saying, so much freedom, only to see everybody take advantage of it, and then take advantage of it with no accountability. And that's what, because people are pretending as if this program is just being snatched away, like it hasn't been abused, especially in the last couple of years. I mean, it was this year in 2025. We was just looking at thousands of people posting and saying how they went to stores and did not receive their benefits. We looking at people saying, that they went in and did all this fraud, and they went and got this money, and there's no money left for these programs. And I know we're gonna say, but it's being money being spent other places. That's true. But again, before we can point the finger at the ones that's out there doing the other stuff, we still have to take accountability for the part that we played. And I say we because, like I told you, there were times that I did do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? It happened. I was young. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I had bills to pay, so I understand. I know I'm not finna sit up here and cap and act like that's not something that went on, and that was a part of it. But I had to change my way of thinking. I had to see like that's not it. But I've never been one that was finna sit around and let the system take care of me. Hence why I never received Social Security and checks and what's the name when they told me to, because I just can't see myself doing it. I feel like when I can't do is when I won't do. Now, so we know like this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and touch this topic next week just a little bit. But before we leave, I got one more video that we gonna show. This one here, and I want to go ahead and put in a disclaimer. Y'all know Auntie normally don't put disclaimers in, but this next video that I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this video by no means is to point fingers at anybody, but I just have questions. I do. And these are questions that I'm asking my listeners because I know y'all gonna tell me the truth. So this next video, I was reading, and this comes locally from my hometown, from where I'm from, literally around the corner. Kids went there. My daughter went there to this school. Nieces went there. I got people that go to this school currently. So there was an incident that took place at one of our local schools. And the reason I am playing this video is because not because of, well, it is because of what happened, but it's a time frame that I want y'all to pay attention to and a decision that was made. And then after this video, I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel and how would y'all handle this situation, or if you can tell me how you think you would how to handle this situation. DC, can you go ahead and play the principal video for me?
Former high school principal is in jail right now, charged with failing to report child abuse. Take a look. This is 42-year-old Jasrick Haggins, former principal at Spoto High School. Now, that is located on Eagle Palm Drive in Riverview. According to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Haggins waited 2 weeks before reporting allegations of a 16-year-old inappropriately touching a 4-year-old at the high school's daycare center. A district spokesperson says he's been on leave since the investigation started earlier this year.
All right. So this is my question. Again, my question for you is, and with them saying that he was, doing his own investigation. First of all, being a principal running a child care program in your school and having children taking care of other people's children. With a 16-year-old, and as we heard in the video, the child was 4 years old. Do you believe that he should have waited any amount of time to do an investigation? DC, I want your answer too. Do you think that there should have been any amount of time that this incident should have been reported? Or, I mean, do you think we should have gave him time, but not 2 weeks?
This is touchy because schools, man, your job is on the line every time you mess anything up. You have no second chances. So you gotta know a little more. I tried to research this story a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What if he knows who did it and he was covering for said person? What if it's his neighbor and he didn't want to tell on his neighbor because he lives next door to him? There's so many things they don't tell you with these stories. Like, why did that clean-cut guy who's never been in trouble wait 2 weeks to tell on a 16-year-old kid?
Exactly. And that was right. That was my other thing. Is like, so is there another reason why he didn't report this happening, saying that he was conducting his own investigation? I mean, because to say that you're not going to report it to the police, anybody that a 4-year-old has been inappropriately touched at a program in your school. And my daughter went to this school. Like, my nieces go to this school right now currently.
Let me ask you this. Do we know? Let's remember, kids, we've all had kids, man. Kids lie. And we learn to not lie as we get older sometimes. Do we know that this 4-year-old is credible? I hate to say that a child's not credible, but still.
Well, if you so I did dig down the rabbit hole a little bit. The boy admitted to it. He
Oh,
admitted, yeah, he admitted to touching the child.
oh.
He admitted.
Hmm. I don't know. Let's put it on you now, okay? You're the teacher. Okay? You know this, but that 16-year-old boy is your neighbor. And you are friends. I mean, y'all hang out every other weekend. This is your neighbor's kid.
He going to jail.
You're just gonna deal with it.
Yeah, he going to jail.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you going. And that's only, and I mean this solely, and that may be if I don't put my hands on you first.
See, and that's where I think it came in. Maybe this man, like when he's saying he's doing his own investigation, maybe he's doing his own punishment as well. Maybe he's tutoring this child. Like, do we know
That's
this
what I'm
16-year-old?
saying. Yeah.
Do we know the 16-year-old's not special needs?
They didn't say.
Okay, there you go. What if this teacher chose to take this student what if this student's like a straight A student? And he said, look, I'm going to educate rather than put him in jail for life. They don't
Right.
tell you the story there. And I don't know. That doesn't
Well, I'm
make
gonna keep
sense.
watching. I'm
I
gonna
can't
keep
wait.
watching for it. Yeah, I'm gonna most definitely keep my eyes and ears out on it to keep up with what's going on with that story because I that's why I said I when I read it and I seen it, I didn't want to point fingers, but I had a ton of questions because there are so many situations that you can put up with this whole situation. Should he have reported it immediately? Was there his own plans of doing an investigation, punishment? Like DC said, did he know this young man closely? Because and a lot of times when we become parents, we become, I mean, principals and teachers, we become close with families, and a lot of times they do live in our neighborhood. It's a lot of questions, but we are going to keep in on touch on that situation because, like I said, that is in my neighborhood. Where I'm from, I think that's actually the school that my grandson would be going to for high school, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's most definitely we do need to make sure we stay vigilant when it comes to our children. And like DC did point out that there are a lot of children that we have to pay attention to them because they will tell stories as if they call them lies. Um, there a lot of children can be manipulated sometimes, but when it comes to a child, you really have to know that child. Um, just to make sure because a lot of children, if you know it's a certain child, the way that like they tell you to watch their behaviors, patterns will change. But a lot of times little kids will act out what has happened or what they've seen with dolls. And that's like in one of my programs that I offer with speaking with children. I do have there's like not so much as like playing, but I do give them access to the dolls and to the what them things called the what you call little boy toys, the little men. What you call them? The little heroes with all the little wrestlers and all those toys, and then you pretty much sit them down, let them act out or play out their little situations, and they'll pretty much tell what is going on and what's not going on. But I do want to say that this is a troublesome situation because I personally sat there and looked at it from like all the points, and to me, it was what was even worse than I'm not going to say worse than, but I even just sat there and thought about it as the parents of the 16-year-old. Um, unless you already knew that this child was prone to that. Can you imagine like getting that phone call to come to the office or come to a school or to wherever it is that they discuss this with the parent to discuss that your child has been accused of and has admitted to touching on a 4-year-old that was in their care? I mean, it's just so much to unwrap with this situation. And our children, their minds, these minds are being are corrupt. We seeing that these babies are they're younger and younger. We're seeing a lot of these young men and women like show these signs and characteristics that are insane. A lot of them dealing with mental different mental health issues. They're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, different things, and we got to save our babies. Because this situation right here is two babies. That's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not to even say that what if this isn't the first time? I pray to God that it was, and I wish that it could have not been any time. But I hope this isn't something that he has been doing, he or she, because they didn't even specify if it was a boy or girl, but have been doing you know what I'm saying? School's been back in a couple of months now. So it's very, very sad. You know, I'm praying for the family, especially the mind of that baby, if that's what happened and whichever way that it happened. Praying for the mind of the 16-year-old, because something had to be going on for you to think that that was okay for you to do it at all. And it's crazy to know that we have children as young as 16 years old that are preying on children and their vulnerability, to be showing these signs at such a early age. We don't think that, you know, it's something going on, because it's happening so much, and it's wild. So we have a lot of stuff that's going on with the government shutdown. Um, You know, before we get out of here, I just realized we're on down to the last couple of minutes. But before we leave here, we truly want to I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. If you would like to be a part, you know what I'm saying, to keep having Auntie on here, it makes sense with Auntie. You always can send you know what I'm saying. Yeah, y'all can send donations over to Auntie Chris or Auntie 24 on Cash App, AUNTI 24. Thank you. Show out. You can follow me on IG at Auntie24. Follow me on IG at Auntie Chris or Auntie Mims. On everywhere else, yes, it's official. I am certified as Auntie Mims. Yes, we are Auntie Make It Make Sense. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the rest of the night. Baby, listen, y'all tune in. It's ladies' night. And what it song says, ladies' night, and I'm feeling right. It is. I am. I had a little drinky drink. That's on a little something. My mind right, Walter. I say I like you so much better on Tuesdays. Thank you so much, Walter, and I really appreciate you steady being a part of Make It Make Sense with Auntie. I truly do. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Again, if you would like to send any of the donations to Auntie AUNTI 24, y'all stay tuned for Simply Complicated at 11. Listen, make sure y'all make it make sense. Stay tuned to BFAM 109.6. I will see each and every one of y'all next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Remember that when life gives you lemons, to make it make sense, especially with this EBT, if it's going to affect you, I want y'all to make clear, rational decisions. Make it make sense. Find a hobby that you can turn into an income. Go and find you a digital project to create. Find something to do, be productive, get them babies a lemonade stand. Y'all listen, contact Auntie, and you can download the program and get your babies a lemonade stand so y'all can make some income. Make another source of income, I'm telling y'all. But make sure y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all for tuning in. Look, I love each and every one of y'all. Remember, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m.